I don't think people in the crypto and the XRP community are taking the news that we just had as seriously as they should be, because this could be a complete game changer for what is coming for XRP, the price action, crypto, and everything we know as a whole. So I want you guys to be fully up to date with everything that is going on in this market, but please remember that nothing in my videos is ever financial advice, because I am not a financial advisor. Now let's jump straight into the charts. So yesterday we added to our position. We also added a stop loss to protect that position on the downside, and we have slowly started to gain a little bit more traction here with the XRP trade, about $2,800 in profit so far. We got $9,000 on the SUI trade and $14,000 on the Bitcoin trade. And the SUI trade is really the outlier right now. $3,000 in, $9,000 profit. Isn't that absolutely incredible? So guys, if you want to do something similar, we have links to Blowfin down there in the description. You can see my copy trading here. We got $2,600 in profit from that copy trading with the test I've been doing. So if you want to copy the same trader I'm copying, the links are in the description. But more importantly, we have an XRP spinner game, and there's only 10 days left. So guys, you can start trading, and then you can get yourself up to 1,000 XRP every time you get to spin this wheel. And guys, there's so many chances that you can win thousands of XRP here, guys. And remember, if you are going to sign up, please read the terms of service of any exchange that you sign up so you understand what's involved. But I'm using this exchange. I've been copy trading on here, and it's working super well. You can use the spot market, the futures market. You can trade XRP. You can do all of that good stuff, and hopefully we can start printing money on our trades. But make sure you read the terms of service and you know what you're doing. Now, with that said, look at this. The Fed just took off the tie and said, let the banks do what they want with crypto. They're now free to back assets like XRP. No permission needed. No more excuses. A new era is loading. If you're a doubter, you are already late. So let's hear what just happened.
Welcome back to Squawk Box this morning. Banking regulators pulling back some U.S. cryptocurrency guidance. This is interesting, guys, because the Fed said it was withdrawing supervisory letters that said that banks should seek advance approval from authorities before engaging in crypto asset and stablecoin activities. In addition, the Fed, the FDIC, and the Office of the Controllers of the Currency pulled back statements from 2023 that urged banks to be careful when it comes to crypto-related risks. During the 2024 campaign for the White House, President Trump promised crypto investors that he would have their backs if he was reelected. In a statement announcing the latest changes, the Fed said that regulators would look into whether new guidance to support crypto asset innovation was appropriate. But it means effectively that I think a lot of those letters have scared the banking system sort of out of getting meaningfully involved in crypto. And now they're saying, do what you like.
Here's the question. I mean, because it's the Fed doing that, it's not like an executive order where it's going to get whipsawed if another administration comes in 4 years, I would assume. But again, the politicization of it probably has some banks a little concerned about whether the winds would change again at some point. I guess maybe it's better because it's coming from the Fed.
Well, I think part of it's coming from the Fed, and it sounded like part of it was coming from
the administration. That's what I don't understand. This was part of the campaign promises to do these things. Again, businesses just don't like getting whipsawed by changes in administrations that lead to huge changes in policy.
I don't know if this means that all of a sudden you're going to go to your local Chase on the corner and be taking Bitcoin. But you can't take Bitcoin.
Look, I guess it does feel very different. It does feel very different in that crypto is becoming much more widely accepted, and maybe if they can get more regulation that kind of cements that, maybe it would make the banks feel a little better about it.
I mean, look, we used to interview Janet Yellen, and she would always talk to you about the risks of it.
Right.
By the way, Jamie Dimon would talk to you about the risks of it. So I don't know. It's interesting because there are people in the banking system who still have their own views of the risks.
But I think the banking system would also like to offer their customers whatever their customers want.
So isn't that absolutely incredible? We could have the rails being put in place and implemented right now, the regulation removed, and everything that the XRP community has wanted for so long is even more possible now with these sorts of deregulation that is going on. So very, very exciting stuff. Let me know what you think about that down there in the comment section, guys. And we also have some interesting macro news where Donald Trump said he just landed in Rome. A good day to have talks with with Russia and Ukraine. They are very close to a deal, and the two sides should now meet at a very high level to finish it off. So guys, this could be bullish for the market. We are seeing actually the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, the Dow closing green consecutive days in a row. We got Bitcoin at 94,600, and you know my point and my view on this market is, I know it's a little bit different to most XRP channels out there where they're only solely focused on XRP. I'm a holder of XRP in my spot bag. It's one of the biggest positions I have, but I understand that it's dictated by how Bitcoin moves. So Bitcoin's moving up. It's setting the stage for our move in XRP. And what I'm liking is I actually see an opportunity here, right? Because XRP hasn't broken out yet. We actually have an opportunity to accumulate more if that's what we believe. Now, let's take a look, right? Let's take a look at what happened last time. So this is the breakout point. November 2024. XRP's price was the same, right, in the bear market all the way up to November 2024. And I know that might seem a little bit ridiculous, like XRP's been up for ages, but no, guys, look at this. Where was Bitcoin in November 24? Bitcoin was already at 69,000. So this is the bear market low for Bitcoin at 20,000. And when we got to 68,000, then and only then was when XRP started to rise. So we might see something similar again. Bitcoin was up 268%. Then XRP started to move. So it's okay that we're seeing XRP be behind Bitcoin, be behind some of these other altcoins, because we've seen it. We've seen what happens. It comes later, and that's perfectly fine, guys. And there's another thing that comes later, and it's also Bitcoin following the M2 money supply, which is going absolutely crazy right now, exploding right in front of our eyes. And this is the global M2 money supply with 90 days offset to Bitcoin, right? And look at how this chart just follows. It's absolutely incredible. So we have Bitcoin following the M2 money supply, which is exploding, so about 90 days off that. Then we have XRP that follows Bitcoin. Once liquidity enters the crypto market and everyone gets excited, they start to chill, they start to research, and they stumble across XRP, and then that starts to rally, guys. So it's perfectly reasonable that we may get another move to the upside. Now, personally, I want to bolster this position right here. I want to make sure I'm not getting in on a green day or a too euphoric day, but I might be adding to this position. So you guys should be paying attention to this channel by hitting the subscribe button so I can keep you guys up to date with my XRP trade. Plus, you need to be getting yourself ready for the next move. So Blowfin is linked down there in the description. Now, we also have Trump's SAR, crypto SAR, saying opening up banking to crypto will help drive further mainstream adoption, and the rails could be built by XRP here. And we also have altcoins finally starting to move. We got the likes of Sui with their big brand partnerships, which is pushing the price up, which is just setting the scene for our next alt season. Now, on the note of an alt season, guys, we have this chart, right? It's called the Bitcoin season or the alt season index, and we are very much in a Bitcoin season. Now, look at this. Look what's interesting about this. Can we precisely pinpoint where XRP might go parabolic, right? Because look at this. When we hit altcoin season peak here in 2024 was almost exactly, look at that, look at the date, almost exactly, look at this. Isn't that wild? Right there as we broke into altcoin season was where XRP absolutely exploded. So this is a chart that we should be paying attention to and watching very closely. I will let you guys know what it is. It's blockchaincenter.net/altcoin season index. You guys can check that out or just search it on Google. And remember, guys, if you want to get the Blowfin spin the wheel to win 1,000 XRP here, the links to Blowfin are down there. Remember, we got the spot market, they got the futures market, and they also have the copy trading, which I'm personally practicing and checking out myself. Now, this is a test. We don't know for sure if this will work in the long term, but so far we're almost at the 2-month mark and we've made 26%. And what's interesting about this is Bitcoin, from where we got in, has actually done essentially nothing. We're at 94,000, right? Bitcoin's done nothing since we got into that copy trading, and we were up 25%. So it's an interesting opportunity that I'm finding here. You guys, please research into it. If you want to follow the same trader, you have to use the links in the description. You can fill out the form if you're already a user of Blowfin, and you guys can check that out for yourself. Make sure you do your own research, but a very exciting opportunity for a little bit of a diversification in the realm of crypto. With that said, I'll check you guys in the next video. Peace.